Um, oh, okay. So what are the big struggles of this week, or what are you dealing with the most this week?
This week is probably one I get I'm a little hung up on a couple of I got kind of some oddball proposals I got to get out. The oddball ones always throw me way off. The standard ones I can put out and I'm down to the point where I can put them out in 30 minutes now, but
Right.
the oddball ones just they mess me up. And then well, like I was thinking this morning was a mess. We was talking about your take 10 minutes, lay it out. Communication is just awful. Um, I've been bit with customer communication in the last week or two. I've been, crew communication is I haven't done a good job on that. Um, it's just it's hard to keep everybody in the loop when when you got four main people and all four of them are doing different things and they're so busy with it that they don't, it's hard to kind of keep things lined out.
And communication takes time. I mean, it
Yeah.
just does. And that's what I was listening to um an Andy Andrews professional noticer um podcast last week, earlier this week. I don't remember what it was, but they were talking about, he was talking with a guy that is the owner of one of the largest um, mortgage companies in the country. And just talking about, as they were talking there, they were, doing a virtual meeting. And Andy had asked him a question, and then the guy came back and said, "I'm sorry, I asked that again." He said, "I was, you know, sending an email or doing a text or something." And and
Yeah.
Andy said, I wouldn't have expected anything less. And he was telling then about his son that used to, he got a text or something one day. Andy's son did, and how he didn't do anything with it. And Andy said, "Aren't you going to reply to it?" And he said, "Oh, I'll get back to it later." And it had to do something because his son has a business also. And he said, "You can't do that. You got to respond. You got to." And so the two of them were just talking about that importance of that quick response. And it's hard to do, just like I got that text from Paul about that wall that he's opening up, and he thinks the framing's a 4x4 in there. Okay, well, we're going to have to deal with it. And
Yeah.
but I haven't replied to him yet because we're in this, and but I will after we get done here. But and a lot of times what I'll even do on a case of that kind is just send him a text and let him know I'm in the middle of a meeting and that I will call him back or
Right.
follow up with him. But that's part of that communication, and how, you know, we've got to be careful to find that balance and not putting things off too long, because then there's more of them. But yet, in the middle of something, and it's hard to find time to do something about it right now. And but yeah, and I was reading something the other day about AI and communication, and how they've got it to where you can set it up to where it'll answer phone calls for you and leave. And but what I was reading the other day was like, well, it was from my computer guy, and it was an article or whatever, that you got to be really careful because the it's going to only give the information you give it to give. And it's hard to, it may give false information. It may go a wrong direction, and that's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, I don't know that I need, that kind of thing. So finding that balance in, keeping everybody in the loop, maybe group texts or whatever, and or to OneNote, if a person had it to where, you had projects set up in OneNote and sharing that with, project leaders, if they had a question and could put it in there, or you could answer it or put information in there that everybody could get to, those kinds of things, but it all takes time to set it up and so on too.
Yeah.
Um, so what are the oddball proposals that you have got oddball in what way, I guess? I'm just curious.
Basically the what they want isn't real clear. One of them, the numbers just don't bear out what the guy's wanting to do. He's got one low spot, but he's wanting to go back through, a 2,500 square foot house, but there's no, um, it- a lot of times in our business, what it comes down to is you're not dealing with a drop, you're dealing with a heave somewhere else.
Uh-huh.
You're like, this is way lower than this. And it's like, yes, because that heaved up
Right.
and we can't lift to the heave
Right.
because we'd have to lift the entire house to a spot that's
Right.
going to come down eventually.
Right.
And then another one where this guy just wants this one area picked up that's down 2 inches. Well, there's another area across the room from it that basically it's a hallway, like a hub, where
Uh-huh.
you got bathroom, 2 bedroom doors, and them little hallways where you're point loaded in 8 spots and about 5 square feet. But
Mhm.
that's down 2 inches. But one of the bedrooms is down 3 inches. And he doesn't want the bedroom messed with. Um, but yet he wants that center up, and it's like we can't do that because we would, we got to pull this, and it's just, yeah, oddball stuff, and it's part of it's on the stem wall, part of it's off, the stem wall's missing in section. It's just a mess,
Right.
and so just silly stuff like that. Another one we'd went. I could knock. I got one I could knock out pretty quick because we've already went around and did the outside like 10 years ago. Now the center beam that they didn't want us to fix, they just
Needs to
wanted
be
to
fixed.
shim it up. Now it needs fixed, and then one of the foundation walls is leaning. Well, so we just adjust ours up and relay that foundation wall, but we got to hit that center beam. So that one I can do. I just ran out of time on it. And
Right.
but the other ones, the ones where I've got to figure out a solution here. I don't think there's any way to do the one without doing that 3 inch spot in the bedroom. I think it'd be you'd either break stuff apart or he'd be extremely unhappy. If we gave him what he wanted, he would be unhappy.
Right.
He just doesn't know it yet.
Right.
And the one up there by Bremen, I don't know. I may just call that guy back and pass on it.
Well, and those are the kinds of things where, you know, um, those are certainly options. It's like I'm just, this, I can't give you what you want, or the other thing is if you want this done, you know, it's going to cost you this much. And, we're gonna have to raise the whole house up except for that one spot. And it's going to cost you this much,
Yeah.
and, so, um, yeah, or we're going to have to disassemble the house and rip the rim joist down so we can lower that one spot and put it back
Yeah.
together, and it's going to cost you this much. And, do you
Yeah.
really want to do that?
Yeah. We're gonna take a quickie saw and cut 2 inches off your stem wall on one end.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in reality, and then just be aware we're going to have to come back someday because it's probably when it dries out,
We're
it's
gonna
going to
put it
come
back.
back down and we're going to have
Yeah,
to build it back.
yeah.
So,
It's I've been I've been looking a lot into this off subject, but I've been looking a lot into soil stabilizations.
well,
Um,
it's not really off subject for what you're talking about and what you're doing because that's a big part of what's happening with things moving around
yeah,
on a house. I mean, you
yeah.
know,
If we could eliminate the plasticity of the soil ahead of time, um, I just don't quite know how to approach it.
well, and ultimately, there's a couple things at play. One, the better the foundation, the less it's going to do this. Two, and this is kind of an odd thing, but my house, built in 1916,
Hmm.
is a stone foundation,
Yeah, no footing. Yeah,
no footing to speak of, and the house is
hmm,
not bolted to it. The house is just sitting on it,
yeah,
which was pretty common.
yeah,
And the situation then is, though, as the ground moves, if it's going down or going up, especially, I mean, our doors don't ever hang up and a lot of people, I've had customers different times like, well, my door's sticking. Well, I would go over and plane it down a little bit, and well, now it won't latch, and we go
yeah,
through these cycles of stuff, and it's like, okay, we'll go over, we'll lower the strike plate down. Okay, now we'll raise it back up, and we do that or have done that,
yeah.
but because things are moving. But when my foundation settles a little bit or heaves a little bit, it's not moving the house as much as
Right,
one that's
because it's
bolted to it.
not got the hard
Right,
spots.
right,
It
right.
can span the
So
movement.
it may float a little bit. I know
Hmm.
different times the front door on our house, I'll have to lift it up a little bit to get the deadbolt in, and then it'll be fine for a while, and it has to do with the moisture.
Yeah,
But I think that a lot of it is you bolt the house to a foundation that's in the ground that's
yeah.
moving up and down. It's moving the
You
house
got the
more.
hard. It kinks on
Yeah,
those
yeah,
spots.
yeah. So, but anyway, yeah. And that's where I think a lot of times on that proposal system, to your point, and difficulties and stuff, and out of the norm, that's what I liked about the proposal system is that I can break it down, into those pieces that go, okay, if we're going to do this here, we're going to do this here, we're going to do that there, and you know,
Just
this is
eliminate
different.
it.
Well, and this is different than any other job, but it's what we're doing, or it's a combination that's
Yeah.
different, so I can pull the different pieces together rather than just going, okay, we're adding on a room addition. We're going to
Mhm.
put on a you know 500 square foot room addition, and it's X number of dollars a square foot, and that's what we're going to, so it's $150 a square foot. Well, problem is you don't know. I mean, at that point, you aren't taking into account the price, the quality of the windows, quality of the floor covering, how much plumbing is in it or not. I mean, all those different things,
Right.
prices of plumbing fixtures, and all of those things will affect that outcome. And so, I will do estimates sometimes, based on what I know. I'm getting ready to do estimates now for Reeds because I've got him a couple of drawings that they're narrowed down to, and they just like to know roughly comparison in prices.
Right.
And I don't blame them for that. I would want to do the same thing, but I can kind of go through and we're looking at a comparable square footage, but one of them is giving a lot more livable space. But one of them is leaving the master bedroom where it is now, but vaulting the ceilings so that those ceilings that are a little under 8 foot, we could vault that ceiling and reframe
Right.
that, and change that perception of it, and make it feel different. And so I've got to run some of those numbers out, but I can do those in an estimating form, if you will, so that it's not as specific. but to give them some kind of a ballpark that they can go, okay, we're looking at comparable numbers, or well, this one's going to be quite a bit more. Maybe we want to go the other way. And so anyway.
You know, if nothing else, on the like in my situation, if nothing else, I can go through on the database and put in all the things that are normal and isolate the one or two things that are weird.
Right.
And that way, all I have to focus on is the one or two things that are
Right.
weird.
Right.
Everything
And then
else
you
is
can modify that based on,
right.
multiple things. I mean, I do that a lot of times on small projects. I'll go in and go, okay, I need to, and we've talked about this, but like setting one door, the labor cost on one door is going to be a lot more than the labor cost per door on 10 doors,
Right.
because the time to get tools out, clean up, figure it out, and just like that, well, it's like what Paul was texting me there a while ago on that four by fours on that wall. Well, I mean, we're going to open it up and see what we got to do. We're widening up a doorway. We'll, I mean, if we have to put in a header there or something or whatever, but I mean, the doorway is literally like 15 inches wide.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that little teeny bathroom there on the off the kitchen,
Oh gosh.
and
That
we're going to
thing's
put a 2-foot door in there.
that thing's miserable. That
Yeah,
little bathroom off the
and
kitchen
we're going
is
to put a smaller vanity in there, but
good.
all you need is and move it over to the corner, but get the door where you can get in and out of there decent, because it's the only bathroom on the main floor.
Right.
I mean, it needs to be a little more accessible. So
Yeah.
anyway, but so yeah. So anything else that you got?
No, I not really. I just need to buckle down and get after it. I've been, Monday was a mess. Been in Stillwater, had to go to Edmond to get brick. Um, uh, it was a mess. Didn't get nothing done. Tuesday was track meet. Didn't get nothing done. Today
Trying to
I've got to
hopefully
catch
catch
up
up.
on my two or three things that I need to do around here, plus the
Right.
work. And yeah, it's a little. I'm just complaining.
Well, but
So
that's quite honestly the point of this coffee is
yeah,
to vent, to chew on those things, and because getting them out of our head will help us deal with them and take some of the internal pressure off from it.
yeah,
And that's really a part of that. And so yeah, and it's life, I mean,
yeah,
we're busy, and so what we do is we figure out the best ways to do things to deal with the busy the best way we can.
yeah. Just muddle out the
Yeah.
the best possible
Yeah.
outcome. Yeah.
So anyway, all
All
right,
right.
to that point, then I will I think we are good to go here. I am going to stop